So anyway, yeah. As far as like the malaria situation, how you got sick, like
Yeah, like you know, just like everything else, like the medical infrastructure is terrible in Guinea, right? Having coming back, it's like, we always had an issue of malaria. They never like found a real cure for it
right.
to this day. So yeah, I ended up getting sick, man. I ended up getting sick. I was hospitalized twice, sick for 3 months. Um, yeah, I just kept bouncing from clinics to clinics, man.
And how did you recover? Because sometimes like the pharmaceutical medication is not really what people think it is. You know what I mean? It's not really a preventative. It kind of from what I learned and heard is kind of just stops it or it makes it worse.
Exactly.
Because they're inducing this shit with other chemicals. You feel me?
I was just about to say that. That's a great point that you brought up, because during that time, so when I got here, this was in 2022, right? And while I was sick, they were prescribing medication to me and everything, but nothing was really happening. So I ended up coming to Senegal, actually, for medical treatment. So when I got here, that's when I was able to, because the medical infrastructure is a little bit better here.
Right.
So I was able to get, like, a little bit better treatment, and my body went into like the shock or whatever. And yeah, so that happened. So when I go back a few months after that, right? We all watching the news,
right?
And it was like it was a shutdown of all the pharmacies.
Lockdown and shit
in Guinea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they shut all the pharmacies down. Like 90%
that's supposed to be
of
an essential thing. Like, why would they close the pharmacies and shit?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because they were selling generic.
Oh.
They were selling generic medication.
Damn.
So pretty much all the medication was fake. So now
here,
right?
India.
It's coming from India.
Right.
It's coming from India. So I'm sitting here. I'm like, hold on. This kind of makes sense. I'm like, this is probably why I wasn't feeling better.
Right.
In these three months, 4 months. So so that happened. So that was like the first light bulb that went off on my head. I'm like, hold on. Oh, this place is super corrupted. Because if the government is allowing that to happen,
allowing them to legally sell,
and then here we are selling fake medication to our own people, right? Generic medication. It's like, what are we really doing, right? So now it's like, we stepping on each other to be tall, and we getting the money any means necessary, right? So
man,
yeah. So that was really like, that experience was super tough, man.
Damn.
Yeah, it was an eye opener on for sure.
And you said yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You said you kind of like started feeling better when you came to Senegal.
Yeah.
And how, like, what was, so they have better medication here, or were you just able to find a doctor that could really help treat you?
Yeah, so it was a little bit of both, man. And I can say, though, by the time I got here, I was starting to feel a little better.
Yeah.
But by the time I left, I spent a month here. But by the time I left, I was definitely like 100% better.
Okay.
Right.
Was it the pharmaceutical medication?
Yeah, I think it was both, because the doctor that I did have, he seemed a little bit more educated. He seemed like he cared a little bit more, right? Yeah. And he also mentioned that it's a lot of Guineans that come up here, that come see him, and it's the same thing, right? And it's the same thing. So it's like, we're just trying to get better with Guinea and get better with everything else. But he was just saying, Guinea basically don't know what they're doing.
They don't.
Yeah, this is the doctor saying this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So did you ever try the natural herb medication, like the traditional African medication?
To be honest, I was always afraid of that. I don't know why.
But you do know that's what the white people, or the Europeans, should I say, copy to make the pharmaceutical meds.
No,
they studied the plants, extract the chemicals, the enzymes, the vitamins and stuff like that out of the herbs to to fabricate that. But the reason why the pharmaceutical shit is fucked up is because they mix it with a lot of Mariam, go interview me when what they need. Yeah.
Kon xaaral ma dem sama yoon kon mi yaa xamu mi yaa.
Da why what ça dérange me faut aller là-bas. You know what I mean? This is we're in Africa. Motherfuckers don't give a fuck about her interview. Mariam, I mean, look, Addis is strani. Afamude.
Yeah, man, I just there.
No,
Afamali.
Afami.
Okay.
Yeah.
I swear to God, they don't give a damn.
Afami.
But basically, like, so they extract the vitamins, the stuff that's in the real herbs, because it's natural, and they induce it with a whole bunch of other chemicals to make pharmaceutical meds, pills, and all that. And that's why when you take the pills, it only helps a little bit because it only has a small percentage of what the body actually recognizes as helpful. And the rest of the stuff is just detrimental because it's chemicals, you know what I mean? On top of that, it's the pills is made out of powder, some type of powder that they use to, you know, concentrate this shit and make it a pill. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a great point, bro. Because for me, it was more so like
you were just afraid.
Yeah,
I
was just. I guess it's the point of like whatever it is that you're accustomed to, right?
Right.
I mean, unfortunately, I am accustomed to the Western medical system.
Procedures and shit.
Yeah, and procedures and things of that nature. Right. I definitely thank for the reminder too. I definitely do know that it originates. You know, everything originates from Africa. Like, this was the pure medication in regards to the herbs, and so for some reason, I was always afraid of it. One, obviously, is because I'm not accustomed, and two, it's a little bit of fear as well, because now I'm looking at it like, do they actually know the actual dose that I require? How do they know how to measure that? Like, are they moving with pure education, or are they moving with something that's just like passed on, and, you know, is it gonna make me better or worse?
Right.
And I don't have examples to look at, like, yo, he was healed from the herbal, right? Or she was healed from the original herbal or medicine and things of that nature. Yeah. I don't know that. I don't. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of like stayed away from it.
Right.
And
that's understandable. You know what I mean? Because we tend to be attracted to what we're familiar with. You know what I mean? Or comfortable with.
Exactly.
Yeah. So with that being said, bro. You know what I mean? It's already getting heated, you know what I mean? So can you just let the people know what you know what I mean, your name real quick, you know what I mean?
For sure. My name is Ahmed Diallo. You know, a lot of my peoples, they call me Polo. Yeah, Polo, man. So come with the dawn and things of that nature. So I had earned that name earlier on in my life and all that, like my early teenage years. Yeah. So
and for those that don't know, like, can you tell them that you're originally African from West Africa, Guinea, but
yes,
you was raised in the States in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. No, I was actually I was born in West Africa, Guinea to be precise. So you know, we ended up family and I ended up migrating to New York, to the States, so New York, So
likewise, same here, same situation.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? I was born in West Africa, you know what I mean? It's just that you're in the Bronx, I was in Harlem.
Exactly, bro. Yeah.
All right, bet. So let me open this up real quick for the people. You know what I mean? So I just want to say welcome and thank you for joining us. You know what I mean? This is an important discussion. It's called The Process, the growth and development and the reconstruction of Africa. So today we'll be exploring the complexities surrounding migration issues affecting Black and Hispanic communities in the United States, as well as examining the role Africa can play in fostering development and creating opportunities for its global diaspora. Our conversation will dwell into the challenges faced by marginalized... Excuse me, y'all.
Wow.
Okay, so our conversation will dwell into the challenges faced by marginalized migrant groups, strategies for creating more inclusive and effective policies, and ways African nations can strengthen African nations can strengthen its ties with African Americans and other members of the diaspora. Through this dialogue, we hope to shed light on pathways toward empowerment, unity, and a shared future of prosperity and collaboration. You know what I mean? So again, Mamadou, thank you. You feel me for doing this. It's a process. So let's
definitely.
You know what I
We're
mean?
here for it, man.
For sure.
We're definitely here for it. You know, it's super important, man, to shed a light on, to those that, might be naive to what's going on out here in Africa. We're not condemning anybody either. We ain't condemning them because we were once in a position. Right. So, but we were just fortunate enough to, have somebody, guide us or have Allah as well, point us at the right direction. And and just to have solid faith with what it is that we're doing and what it is that things that we believe in, bro.
For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's powerful, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that being said, my first question is what do you believe are the primary challenges faced by Blacks and Hispanic communities in the US related to immigration and legal status today?
The challenges
Faced in the Black and Hispanic communities in the United States today concerning, the immigration and legal statuses.
Concerning in the diaspora, or it's just like
in the United States, what challenges do you feel like Blacks and Hispanics communities in the U.S. are facing regarding legal statuses, legal issues as far as immigration and being legal
procedures and things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
I mean, with the legal process.
What do you believe is making it hard for immigrants, especially the Black communities, Hispanic communities, to retain a legal status?
Right. So, to be honest, because when I went to the States, when I was 9, so I actually didn't know what was going on in regards to the legal status, and my parents was actually taking care of all of that, right? But recently, I was unfortunately, I got into the criminal justice system, and then I ended up going to the immigration, right, to ICE and things of that nature. So, one thing I do know is that once you commit a crime, they're definitely not going to be easy on you.
As an immigrant,
right. Especially as an immigrant, right? Because there, what happens is, when you're an immigrant, they have you do the time as a if you are a citizen, but they also send you back the African that you are, right? They send you back to your countries, the immigrant that you are. Yeah. So it's pretty much no second chances. So for the challenges that they have to actually endure, I never really faced that myself, right? Because I was just brought there. I just had a mission. My one mission was going to school. That's what my parents wanted to do, and they took care of all the legal parts and things of that nature. It was rough for me to come when I was there. I mean obviously it had to be for you too, because early 2000s, man, Africans wasn't accepted. Africans wasn't regarded as even a human being.
I mean, till today, it's not just Africans.
Yeah.
Blacks, period. That's in the Constitution, as you know. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Till today, they haven't rewrote the Constitution.
Nah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. So basically things like that, I guess, right? Well,
Made it
racism.
hard.
Racism is still, going on at a certain degree, because now it's more of it's systematic racism. It's not more so like an individual. It's not like a white person looking at a black person, and just being brutally, racist. They actually put it in the system.
It's implemented in the system.
Yeah, where it's a little bit more hidden, and it's not obvious to the untrained eye. Right. To see certain things. So you would agree that's one of the challenges. Yes.
For an immigrant, let alone for the African Americans there already. You know what I mean?
Let alone, absolutely. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, that's a good answer. You know
For
what I
sure.
mean? My second question is, this is another question about the U.S. immigration policy. How has the U.S. immigration policy impacted blacks and Hispanic families differently compared to other immigrant groups?
Okay.
Do you feel like other immigrant groups like Chinese or the
Yeah.
Arabs
Yeah, for sure.
have a better chance than the blacks and the
Yeah.
brown Hispanics or so what? You know what I mean?
100%, because I feel like, the underlying factor is the skin tone, right? At the end of the day, because for me, as a West African that comes from different culture and a different background from the average African American, I still get treated like a black man.
Right.
But I don't get treated like a Guinean man. I get treated as a black man because of my skin.
Right.
So whatever system that was already installed in America,
Right.
us as Africans, us as blacks, because
Right.
you could be a
Black,
Indian,
right.
a black Indian.
Right.
Once that happened,
Or brown Hispanic.
a brown Hispanic,
Right.
Hispanic,
Yeah.
for that matter.
Yeah.
Because what happens when you come into that, you fall right under the umbrella.
Automatically.
Right? Automatically, you fall under the umbrella. So the cop's not gonna skip you and say, "Oh, nah, he's African. Now this is only for the African Americans.
Right.
It's only targeted because we all look the same,
Exactly.
obviously, right? So
Right.
we all are the same.
We are the same.
So that's definitely one of the challenges that, the darker skin tones have to endure while they're in America for sure.
Regardless where you come from.
Yeah, regardless where you come from. This not even, we're not even just pointing at just Africans. It's just all over.
Because you mentioned the skin tone, which is the key aspect to that.
Yeah.
Some Hispanics or Indians or Arabs, when they migrate to the U.S., they can check the white box that they're Caucasian.
Exactly. And
You
they
know
get
what I
away.
mean? And they get away with
so
it.
You got
They
the
get accepted.
You got the Asians, it's not that much, you have, like you said, the Hispanics, you
The
have,
Asians too, they consider white.
they consider white, you have the Romanians and all the European countries, right?
Yeah.
It's like, they got it a lot better than we do.
They automatically get the white privilege.
Yeah,
The Europeans.
the white
and all them.
privilege.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy. Man. Yeah, man. So, how do you see the role of race and ethnicity influencing the experiences of? But that's kind of like the similar question. You know what I mean? Alright. What is the impact of anti-immigration sentiment on the Black and Hispanic communities' mental health and social well-being? Yeah. What do you think about that? What is the impact of anti-immigrant sentiment on the Black and Hispanic communities' mental health and social well-being?
Okay. Mental health, man. I just love the topic because I feel like it's a topic that it's not talked about enough, right? And so I feel, for the immigrants, man, one of the challenges is the expenses in America, right? Because immigrants, they go to America to search for a better life, right? So now, once arriving, they get hit with a million things at once, right? So which can affect your mental health, because here you are, you left your family back home, right? You got your wife and your 15 kids, right?
Right.
And you have your aunts, your older sister, everybody,
Right.
because this is truly a place where you have like a whole family dependent on one person, right? Because nobody else is not doing anything, and they feel like you're a little bit more fortunate than they are, and you should take care of everybody, right? And if you don't do that, you get alienated and things of that nature. So I feel like when the immigrants do go there, it's like they're working hard. They are working hard, but guess what? The bills are there. Guess what? Uncle Sam is right there, right? So you have to kick out. And as much as you working, like, you gotta remember your family back home, they ain't trying to hear none of that. Oh, I don't have it. No, you gotta remember, like, you gotta, like, yeah, you know what you left out here.
Right.
So,
But they don't know what you're dealing with over
but
there.
they don't know the reality that you're dealing with over there in America.
Right.
So what this does is, it starts to play. It starts to play and take a role. It take a lot out of you, man. Like your mental health starts to deteriorate, and a lot of people, especially coming from where we come from, they're not educated on dealing with their emotions. They'll have no emotional IQ, like zero. So they have certain feelings, and they don't even know what it is or how to suppress it, how to deal with it, things of that nature. Maybe they could go for a walk and go for a run, right? They're not educated on this. They was never educated on this. So here they are in America, they be over there stressed out, and a lot of things just happen. Yeah, so it's just super unfortunate.
Yeah, that's true too, bro. Because I've literally seen my mom and my dad deal with that. You know what I mean? So I can definitely relate to that for sure, man.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what do you think? What do you think about the issues like housing, employment, and access to social services differ for Blacks and Hispanic immigrants? Should I repeat the question?
Yeah, actually,
got it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I got it a little bit.
How do issues like housing, employment, and access to social services differ for Blacks and Hispanic immigrants compared to, obviously, to whites? You know what I mean? Because that's the only other group, you know what I mean?
Group of race that we have there. See, with that too, like,
because that's why we got like the ghettos.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
exactly. We got the
Black
projects,
communities and shit.
Yeah,
like, thank you.
Projects and things of that nature. So like you said earlier, it's all a system, right? So they like to put us all in the same same neighborhoods, same pot, where where they keep us stagnant, right? So when the immigrants come in, and you got to remember, the African from Africa is totally different from the African American, right? At the end of the day, right? Cause it's almost like this, right? When I first came, cause remember the media brainwashed a lot of the African Americans. This is why they didn't like us as Africans, right? And the media also brainwashed us too, for not liking the African Americans, because when we was watching the news and all we seen was African Americans, shooting each other for jackets, and so the Africans like, whoa,
Them niggas crazy.
them niggas is crazy, right? So the African Americans, they look at, when they turn on the TV, guess what they see? Lions, tigers, and bears.
And dirty ass places.
I feed the children commercials, right? So, they've been brainwashed. So when they come in, and when we come in and they see us, it's like, so we're both clashing. We're both looking at each other like, yo, you an animal. No, you're the real animal. Right. So it's like, it's almost like they already put us against each other at a very early stage. Right. So, so when we go in, we fall right under that umbrella. Like, example for me, I went straight to the Bronx, the River Park Towers to be exact, right? That's where I grew up at. Like one of the
part?
River Park Towers.
River Park, yeah.
Yeah, we call it RPT. So that's like one of the worst neighborhoods that imaginable, like in America. Like, so, me coming in, this might sound cliche, but it's people, places, and things, right? So I was there. That's where I grew up, and I fell right under it's a setup like as a project. So everybody doing the same thing, and the education is not the same as in these white neighborhoods. Things of that nature. So,
What about for the Hispanics? How do you feel like they obviously they're dealing with the same situation, except for the fact that the whiter Hispanics can, click the white box.
Yeah.
But how do you feel like they deal with that? How did you feel like the
Hispanics?
They instigated between the Hispanics and the Blacks? Do you feel like they did or not?
Nah, not really, because
You don't feel like the Hispanics
really.
went to America hating the Blacks?
Nah, not really, because I feel like, all right, so Hispanics, they're all right, in regards to they have the different culture too. The Hispanics, they got totally different culture from the African Americans as well.
Excuse the cigarette too, by the
Yeah,
way.
you good. They got different
No
culture
problem.
from the African Americans, and it's like, like you said earlier, human nature just dictates, you feel more comfortable with your people. Right, so Spanish be with the Spanish, but statistically, when we look at the Spanish and the Blacks, It's like when we look at the penitentiary system,
Yeah.
it's mostly us and Hispanics.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So
like
they fall right under the
5%
same.
whites.
Yeah, it's like 5-7% whites or something like that. Yeah. So they fall right under that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And then like, it's crazy because with the majority of black men being in prison, you have like single mothers. So then like they end up just having to fend for themselves. So I came to this realization when I got a bit older, and I was just thinking like, damn, like so basically like there's no one to protect our women. Because God created man to provide for his wife and created the wife to help his man, her man. I mean, excuse me. So it's like they're putting us away. So we can't protect our women.
Absolutely.
We can't raise our kids.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Speaking of mental health, that's a whole nother version of mental health right there. You know what I mean? So then like I can see why and understand how black women nowadays are like they're bitter towards black men. You know what I mean? They feel like if a man is not, is not balling, they don't want to fuck with him because subconsciously there's probably a possibility that he's gonna get killed or get put away.
Absolutely.
And she's gonna be left alone.
Absolutely.
What do you think about that? Like,
that's a great point, and it's like extremely, it's extremely unfortunate, right, for our ladies out there, right, for our young queens, man, because it's just reality, right? It's just reality, and this the reason why, like, I feel our women are so masculine, right? They come off with this masculine energy because, the man is absent, the father been absent, boyfriend get locked up or killed, he's absent, so this is why they get the sense of urge of feeling like they don't need a man, right? So when you come in, so this way, and it's sad because they don't even know how to identify a good man.
A good man.
Right? So, and that's where it begins at, because there are good men out here, right? At the end of the day, like, we're not like completely, eradicated. It's just that they don't know how to identify, and then when we do come in, we come in to look for, that soft girl, like, like
that feminine energy.
That feminine energy, like, I need you to be vibrant in that. Yeah, right. So, but you're getting masculine energy, and for a lot of us that's educated on this, like, we don't got time for it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, so we leaving you right where you at.
Exactly.
Like, cause at times you already gotta come equipped. So for the ladies, man, like for the queens out there, man, definitely equip yourself and treat yourself, educate yourself and figure out, you gotta be tapped into your feminine energy and just figure it out.
Right.
Nice.
Nah, for real. Cause I don't feel like Hispanic women deal with it. Well, they do too, because there's a lot of Hispanics in prison as well. They do too. You know what I mean? Or we all do. Like that's.
Yeah, they definitely deal with it. They definitely deal with it.
But I feel like you hit the nail right on the head. Like it's that the energy changes.
Energy changes.
It changes.
Yeah, because again, we're absent, man. We're in prison. And, it's always it's a saying. It's a quote. All the good ones are in prison or dead, right? So they always say this, and again, we just have to like. And in the men too, I can't forget the men that are out here, because there's a lot of men that are out here that's not educated on their role, right? What is your role as a man?
Right.
How you supposed to present yourself to the woman, to the queen, and what kind of energy that you supposed to have, right? At the end of the day, so this way everything can be compatible, and so we can raise more of that, we can see more of that, right, for the future, because it ain't over, right? Because we're still producing, we're still reproducing, so. The ones that are out here, the ones that are left, we educate ourselves enough, like we'll be able to start a whole new cycle, right? Like, okay, the male is present in our life, like, so this way our women, our daughters can have an example of what a good man is, or what a good man look like, right? So they can identify the key factors and be able to, look for that, in their men, right, in their lives.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, definitely, man. How are you feeling about these questions so far?
Oh, they're good. They're good. Yeah. We tapped in.
All right.
We're tapped in.
Sure. All right.
We probably got I don't know. We want to shed more light like on Africa now, or
Yeah, definitely. Think I have one more question because I think you mentioned this before the interview.
Okay.
About media,
Okay.
right? And so this is probably the last question on that, and we'll probably dive into the Africa.
No question.
It says, what role can the media play in portraying the real stories and challenges faced by Black and Hispanics, or what role do you feel like they play in portraying the real story of our challenges faced by Blacks and Hispanics in America?
So again, it still goes back to the system, right? If you look at all the news channels and all of these bureaucracies, who are they owned by? Right?
Yeah.
They're owned by them.
Yeah.
So now what they do is they're only sending out the content that they want to send out. At the end of the day, they're not going to send out any positivity and all the things that, because like they know the power that we have. It's us that don't know the power that we have, right? And they always been intimidated by the Black man. Some people say the original man, right?
Which we are.
Yeah,
they know, because like
they know.
It's not even that they proved it.
They actually proved it.
They proved it.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. So they know how powerful you are, and they know that the brains and our genetic makeup is just a lot more. Melanin. Like we have melanin in our skin.
That's it right there.
You get what I'm saying, bro? So
same reason why they knocked the noses off the pharaohs in Egypt, because they don't want people around the world to recognize.
Exactly.
That's a Black man that was king. That was a pharaoh.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then if you really look at the pharaohs in Egypt or Ethiopia, Morocco, the Mali Empire, the Zulu Empire. You feel me?
Yeah.
They were all like super rich kings, and I feel like they had peaceful societies compared to the kings in Europe.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the kings in Europe back in the day, they weren't doing nothing but going to war for gold.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And just killing each other for real.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So yeah, the media definitely like you said, they put out what they want because they own it.
They own it.
So whenever there's a Black man trying to motivate his people, they don't share that content.
They don't share that content, or they execute them, right? Because we could look at history, right? At the end of the day, every powerful Black man that came around and was talking, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all our greats,
Kwame Nkrumah,
exactly, all the greats. Look at them. Guess what they do? They execute them because he's too powerful, right? And if we don't take him out now, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
And the power really just come from the truth.
Of course. You know what I mean? Of course, the power comes from the truth, man. And definitely so.
But that's one thing, like you said, it's melanin is power. Like, God gave us this to the point where, like, melanin alone can give us psychic powers.
100%.
You know what I mean? Connect with the universe,
Yes.
right? Like, they told us dreadlocks. Like, I learned this last week. Dread, in the English word, is fear. Right? To dread something.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Right?
The reward, yeah.
They're like, those. So basically, you're saying like those are feared locks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, so they look at. Like, speaking of the media again. Whenever they portrayed a Black man with dreadlocks as a gangbanger, a criminal, a savage.
A savage, yes. You just nailed it.
But really, it was called damn, what was the locks? It was called I forgot what the word is, but it's basically like the locks are like, it's a cultural thing, it's a spiritual thing, because the hair is an antenna to the universe.
Absolutely. Yeah, our hair is definitely like it sends out signals.
Right.
To for example, like I did a little bit of research on it as well, not to cut your wisdom.
No, we're good.
Yeah, like you see how like certain things happen and the hair, your neck stand up, your hair, your skin, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So hair is actually like, it sends signals to the brain and bodies that's like fear and things of that nature, bro. So it's super important, bro. Super important. So that was like great point that you just brought up, bro.
For sure.
And then this education is definitely power, bro, because what you know, it's like, okay. So this is why, I always encourage anybody that's younger, anybody that I do like encounter, right? Education, man.
Yeah.
Take your time out, educate yourself.
For sure.
I mean,
But it's to the point where like they've made. I mean, I'm not gonna say they've made people, but black people have become mentally lazy. And what I mean by this, like, niggas don't read enough anymore. You know what I mean? Hispanics don't read enough. Like we don't read enough, bro. So education is important, but people are too mentally lazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Because in the 1920s, 40s, and stuff like that, like even before the Civil Rights Movement,
Yeah.
it was Dr. Martin Luther King, Dr. Claude Anderson, Dr. You know what I mean? It's like different. Everybody's pretty much a doctor. Even if there was a preacher, there was a doctor. You know what I mean?
They were educated.
You
Yes,
feel me?
they put that. They prioritized it. At the end of the day.
But now,
right,
niggas ain't even got an associate's degree.
You get what I'm saying? You know the famous saying: if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book.
Put it in a book.
Right. So you put it in a book. It's hidden. They'll never discover it. Right. So like I always say too, like education doesn't always mean school. Right.
Right.
We can like. Example, Elijah Muhammad, he dropped out of the 4th grade. One of the greatest leaders of the NOIs in America, right? So picking up the books, man, and reading them, and just information. Like we have YouTube now, right? So we call that YouTube University. Whatever it is that you want to learn, like is that is exposed at the tip of your fingers, man. So you can definitely like just go and get right. Yeah. Definitely go and get right.
For sure.
Yeah.
And there's actually some universities too that actually puts their free courses on YouTube.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
So that's another thing. But at the same time, picking up that book, because everything is not going to be on YouTube. YouTube is informative, but
yeah, everything is not going to be on YouTube.
We need to exercise the cells in the brain.
No, 100%. Yeah, I definitely I will attest to that for sure. I definitely advise to go pick up the books, and there's some great writers out there, man. Yeah. It's like the cheat sheet. Right. Like if you can sit down and read, it's like the cheat. It's like you really, because your conversation is going to be different. Right. Like whatever room you go into, you're going to stand out, right? Because you're enlightened, right? And you're going to have this different glow to you, like this different light, right? Because you know what they say, you let the world know who you are once you open your mouth, right? At the end of the day, so
I never heard that before.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's definitely like I definitely encourage to just sit down and read. And again, it's everything. As kids, we learn by vision, by seeing. So remember, again, we're not condemning anybody, right? We're just encouraging you to go do it. If you want to be different, go do that, right? Remember, we don't come from even seeing the Father, let alone seeing the Father read a book, right? At the times of Martin Luther King and them, at least with them, they had their parents was they was present.
School, right?
They was present. They was going to school. They was reading. They was doing this. Right. So as time went on, obviously,
it separated the family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. That's a great point, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Everything. So you ready to dive into? You ready to go back to Africa?
Yeah, we can dive into Africa a little bit for sure.
I bet. So these questions right here, I titled them Africa's Development and Welcoming African Americans. Africa's Development and Welcoming African Americans.
Okay.
All right. And so, first question is, what specific economic and social reforms does Africa need to implement to foster sustainable development across the continent? Again, what specific economic and social reforms does Africa need to implement to foster sustainable development across the continent? First, like even before welcoming African Americans, what do you think Africa needs to do as an economy, as a society, to reform itself in order to implement and foster this development across all of Africa, all across the continent?
Okay, so I feel
Socially and economically.
economically, right? So I feel socially like they need to be a lot more inviting, right? Inviting. Let's talk about it.
What do you mean by that? Yeah,
inviting,
let's talk about that,
like,
yeah.
like, just put it on the media. Let's talk about it a little bit more.
Okay.
Right? Let's put it on the social medias, all these platforms that we have, the Facebook, the Instagrams, and because you might see a few people on there talking about it, but we need to have enough people on there talking to the Africans in the diaspora, in the African Americans in the diaspora, right?
Yeah.
Because especially I feel like we Africans, we owe it to the African Americans, right?
Facts.
Due to slavery and things of that nature. 'Cause this is their original place. So
It's their home too.
This is their home too.
Yeah.
So this is us telling the Africans Americans, come home.
Like, welcome home.
Welcome home.
Yeah, you don't have to come home, but just know that ain't nobody
you're welcome.
telling you can't come home. You know what I mean?
You're welcome here, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's another reason why Allah had brought me out here, because me talking to African American is not just any average African talking to African American, letting them know to come over here, right? I'm culturally compatible with the African Americans, and obviously the Africans here,
Right.
Because African Americans see me and be like, "Whoa, you're
African? Not African. Yeah,
There's no way you're
yeah,
African.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
you
Same
mean?
with me. You ain't
Yeah,
African.
you us.
Like, say something African.
You get what I'm saying? Favorite line. Say something African.
Yeah, but hey, one time, like before I came to Africa the first time.
My point.
So not to cut you off.
You got.
But one of my nigga baby James was like, he's like nigga, you don't even, he was like, name a street in Africa. I'm like, nigga, you right, nigga. I don't know no streets in Africa, nigga.
Yeah, you right. I don't
like,
even
name
know
a street in
Africa.
Africa. I know,
No, for
bro.
sure,
You know what I mean?
for sure, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely, bro.
that's real shit.
Yeah, absolutely. So just like welcome them, talk about it a little bit more, let them know what's going on, right? And economically, man, I feel like it's a lot of countries in Africa that are working, with their infrastructure, because to be honest, man, that's America. So we got to make it look more appealing, right? It has to look.
America had a longer start.
Yeah, obviously.
China,
yeah. They had a longer start.
Singapore, all those places had a.
Yeah,
they've been building.
They've been building,
Yeah.
right? So for us, like Africa is really the future.
Literally.
It's literally the future.
Right, because it's like vacant land.
It's vacant, and Allah is not making more land.
Nah.
So you better
say that again.
You better come snatch yours now.
Yeah, God ain't making more land. Y'all hear that?
He's not. God ain't making no more land.
Period.
Come snatch yours now. And what other place is better to snatch land other than Africa, right?
Right.
Because we have our same as we have our geographical disadvantages, we have our advantages too,
Right.
geographically, right? At the end of the day, so
But we really have like the greatest advantage though. If you think about it.
natural resources.
Natural resources, those are just resources, but like geographically, bro, there's no natural disasters here, bro. We get thunderstorms.
Yeah, there is no natural.
There's no hurricanes.
That's
There's
crazy.
no tsunamis.
And
there's no earthquakes. I ain't never heard of Africa having an earthquake
Ever.
I'm sure they probably did, but I ain't heard of none.
Me neither.
I
To
ain't
be
heard of no
honest, we just
hurricane,
hear
nothing.
like floods and things of that nature.
Yeah.
That happens, what I mean?
Right,
And
yeah.
and those
But
are
that's
things,
normal.
Yeah, those are things that we can't avoid, right?
Right.
There's catastrophes. It's gonna happen from
Right.
time to time, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, like here, like it's the future, man. I feel like we just need to welcome them, come together, because they're in the perfect position, as well as we are in the perfect position, right? So now it's just about building that bridge and being able to connect and be able to travel through that bridge, right? Because the African Americans in America, at the end of the day, they already built a strong. They already have the advantages, which is what making the American dollar. Right. You can make the American dollar. So now, guess what? We're in position here in Africa to receive the American dollar.
My nigga.
You get what I'm saying? Because now, when
sound
you
like Malcolm X right now.
you feel me? 'Cause when you send that American dollar here,
Yeah.
it's a lot more valuable.
Period.
Right, and I'm here, right? So I'm a person that's trustworthy, right? A person that moves with, because all you gotta do is find a person with integrity that moves with integrity. And that's the reason why you here, because your parents didn't find nobody that moves with integrity and they running off with their money.
That they know like that.
Right, that they know like that, and they know they're gonna run off the money. So now you're here, right? So now, if we get enough of us here, African Americans, they don't even gotta come
They
until
can
it's
just come
done.
visit.
Come visit, see what's going on.
And go
You got
back.
American passport, so you can get up and go, come and go whenever you want.
Right.
Right. So it's important for them to wake up and actually be aware of what's going on, man. Because everybody else is tapped in, right? The
Bro,
Asians
say
is
that
tapped
again.
in.
Say that
the
again.
Asian,
Put the mic
everybody,
closer,
everybody else is tapped into Africa, right? And this is what I want to tell the people. I just want to tell my people, right? Like, it's a small window period. We have to come together now, like
as soon as
like
possible.
my African American brothers and sisters. This here, Africa, is human liberation.
Period.
You don't have to struggle like how you're struggling in America. I've been struggling for over 340 years.
400 some years.
You get
460 years.
you get what I'm saying? So it's like, it's time for y'all to get that relief. Right? Come out here, we welcome you guys. You got countries like Ghana, they issuing citizenship on the coming.
Yep.
They welcome you back. So we need
Liberia
as well,
yeah.
right? So we need more countries like this that's doing this, open arms,
Yeah.
right? Come out here and invest.
Yeah.
Because guess what? The Chinese are out here. The Australians are out here. The Europeans been out
Indians
here.
are here.
The Indians are out here.
The Turkish are out here.
They're here. Everybody is
Niggas
tapped
is scared. Niggas are like, I'm not, when I say niggas, you know what I mean? Like, I'm being vocal, you know what I mean? But
for
like,
sure, for sure.
but blacks in America especially are afraid to come out here. But what they don't know is, like what you're saying, everybody else are coming out here and starting business and making money. If you got Turkey's way more developed than Africa. China's way more developed than Africa. India way more developed than Africa. But they're here though.
They're here though, and they're here on a mission. They're here on a mission, bro. So it's our duty.
They're having kids. Somebody told me, wow, a bunch of white people, mainly French. They left France. I met a white dude at the bar last week, French dude. Bruh, he told me he been out here for 20 years. He been in Africa for 20 years, bro.
Sure.
He's got kids out here.
Exploiting Africa, man. That's what they do.
He's got white kids, but white kids are being born in Africa, bro, because
Yeah.
them motherfuckers, they see what it is.
Nah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And
Niggas just got to come visit one time. They gonna figure this shit out.
And this is our duty, because this is the thing, right? I don't want the African Americans. I don't want it to be too late, right?
Thank you.
And it's always
that
gonna be
again,
space.
bro.
I really don't want it to be too late for you guys, because I got love for my African Americans. That's my culture.
That's my culture too.
I grew up with y'all.
The only thing is, our parents are African.
Our parents are African, so now we just able to come back and be like, oh crap, because we're coming back with an American mentality.
Right.
So now we're like, oh shit, now I want this for my man Cav B.
Right.
Now I want this for
Yeah, my nigga Davon, my nigga DJ,
You feel
shit
me?
like that.
Yo, I
yeah.
want this, because I ain't gonna lie, they good niggas at heart.
Right.
Right. So, damn, I got the opportunity to see this, but they don't, because they don't have what I have, right?
They don't know.
They don't know, but they actually have it, because
They
this
just
is
don't
theirs
know.
too.
They come
just
out
don't
here
know.
and get the shit too, and they just don't know.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
So now here we are. So for us that's here, actions do speak louder than words, right? At the end of the day, so this is what we do. We just continue to move how we move, spread awareness, and let them watch.
Yeah.
And let them watch, bro, because we coming. We're coming, man. We're gonna do what we do. We're gonna do the best we can, and once we reach the top, because it's billion. I'm talking about, this is billionaire money out here.
Bro, you got white people coming out
wealth.
here, Asian, Indian, Turkish motherfuckers coming out here getting this shit, and then going back to their country rich.
This is wealth.
They
man.
building business out here, going back to their country to visit, but they out here.
Wealth, man.
Man,
Wealth, man.
real wealth, bro.
Real wealth.
That's what I want to say, like, because all right, you remember back in slavery times, like colonial times, when like 1600s, when the Europeans first came to Africa. So it's reputed to be, or so-called, they took the smartest people out of Africa. They measured people in brain size, like their head size and this and that, and their skull, like they basically, like, what's it called? I forgot the word for it. Basically, like, they took out the smartest people out of Africa.
Right.
I feel like that's some bullshit. I feel like that's a myth. You know what I mean? You can't judge someone's intelligence just by measuring the size of their head.
Absolutely not.
You know what I mean? That's some straight bullshit. You feel me? So sticking to that myth, if the smartest people, which obviously it's not, you got Nigerians, Guineans, Senegalese, black people are smarter in general. Egypt, I ain't take all the smart people, you know what I mean? Y'all took some, but not everybody, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So with that being said, if our people are suffering like that, and they're smart, they have these resources now, have access to the U.S. dollar or the British pound or whatever, right? The euro. Why don't we bring that shit back home? Bring your intelligence back home. Let's build our planes over here. Let's build more schools and hospitals. Like you were saying at first, like damn, the hospital was kind of weak. You had to go to Senegal or some shit to get better medical care. We have professional black doctors that are better than white doctors. You feel me? One of the greatest surgeons was a black man. Brain surgeons was a black man. He the one that separated the Siamese twins. You heard about that? You know what I mean?
Okay.
From what university? It's the University of New Jersey. What's that medical university called? Fuck it. Damn, it'll come to me.
Okay.
But it's one of the best medical universities in the States, and it's, I believe, in New Jersey.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's a movie about him too called The Gifted Hands. Gifted Hands. You know what I mean? So you probably Google that. You'll see it.
Google that.
Yeah, Gifted Hands. So this black doctor, brain surgeon, was the only one that had enough courage and enough skill. Like in his hand, I guess was he had, because you know you have to have a steady hand to be a surgeon. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He had like, he was the most skilled doctor and he had the most courage to separate these twins, white babies at that. These white babies like they came out connected. In their head, brains, you know what I mean? Their heads and brain was connected. You know what I mean? So all the white doctors was scared to do it. You know what I mean? Like
he went and did it.
They gave him the opportunity. They asked him to do it.
Wow.
And he took some time, prayed on it, talked to his wife, and he did it. And it came out successfully. And both kids, heads separated, and still have their brains.
Wow.
You feel me? Wow. So that's just one example.
Yeah,
we
that's
have
one example. Yeah. Chemical
engineers that are black. We have. All kind of talented black people. You feel me? If we just come together, share some of that knowledge with our people, because if Africa is struggling because we don't have enough intelligence or the knowledge, enough access to the knowledge, which the white man hinders us to, blocks us to get certain information to keep Africa low.
Absolutely.
But y'all niggas already have it.
Yep.
So all we need to do is quit being a little selfish and come share with our people, just like you said, we have to prepare and welcome our people.
Yeah, for sure.
And they just need to be willing to come and help us build, because it's our home.
And this is what
it's our home. Because if we did that, like you said, Africa is the future. Africa's gonna rise in 20 years.
20, 30 years.
Medically, economically, socially, all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's our people are intelligent and talented.
Yes, indeed.
The basketball. The NBA is predominantly black.
Of course.
Football.
Of course.
All our people need to do is just come play over here.
I'm telling you, man.
And what they gonna do? They gonna come watch us over here.
Absolutely.
Right or wrong.
And this will be considered our home.
Our home. You know what I mean? Like, come on, stop playing.
And guess what? Yeah, so at this, when we get at this level, and this is how they know, right? We gotta be mindful. They know that us coming together is too powerful, right? And because remember, we have all the natural resources.
Period.
Everything comes from Africa.
Period.
At the end of the day, right? So now it's like when we're coming together. So it's like, all right, Africa got one main part.
Y'all can't play as stupid anymore.
Asia got one main part. Exactly.
Exactly.
And then so it's like it
Russia
could be equally spread.
Right.
So it's like, all right, the Africans, we know we got to go over there for the gold. Right, the Asians, we know we gotta go over there for production. Right. America is a market. It's the biggest business.
We'll sell it over there. Fuck it.
We'll sell it over there. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the day, so it's like they just don't want us to be that powerful. And and the plus side for the African Americans coming to Africa, man, like I said, the liberation, man, to be free, and at the same time they ain't gotta face racism, systematic racism, and things of that nature. You could just come and actually get you a condo, live a house, build your house from ground up.
Period.
Right?
And then the type of house you build out here, like buying a mansion in America, where the government still tax you so much, but in Africa, you can build a villa.
And you own it.
And you don't have to
100%.
worry about electricity being so high or gas being so high.
own it.
Water's gonna be free.
You own it.
You know what I
So
mean?
this is and
There's
yeah,
water in the
and-
ground.
and it's
Motherfuckers
less-
like water will be free.
I'm
Come
telling you,
on,
man. And it's less stress, man. It's less
We're
stress
gonna build
because
our own planes because we have enough
Exactly.
smart people.
of course,
enough
of course,
doctors.
Of course, of
You
course.
feel me? And like those
course.
professionals that are that could come out here with that intelligence, with their knowledge, they can teach it to our younger people generations.
That's-
so that way in the future, like
That's
we'll just keep on evolving.
and that's the point. That's the point that I was about to. That's the next point, right? Because that's another plus side. Because you know what they say. Favorite saying is a quote. You know the how it goes again. The spirit of living is given. The spirit of living is given.
Wow.
So naturally, when you give, you feel greater about yourself.
And you receive.
And you receive at the end of the day,
Right.
right? So for the African Americans, you teaching the youth, right? Because like literally some of these countries, we're just breathing, man. We're dead. Like the people out here, citizens are dead, man. They don't have no future. Like they don't have no hopes, no dreams, anything, because there's nothing around them, especially in a place like Guinea. There's nothing around them that they see which is success other than just going to America
Or Europe.
or Europe. So
They understand. You go to Europe, you're gonna be washing cars, my
you're
nigga.
gonna be washing cars,
Or working at a bakery.
working at a bakery. So now, if we come, the doctors come out here, the lawyers come out here, the engineers come out here,
The
the
scientists.
scientists come out here
Come on,
and
bro.
teach the youth, right? Automatically, you're gonna feel good about yourself, right? Because you're putting this. It's like you're serving a purpose, right? Because
Exactly.
in watching it come into fruition, like actually seeing this kid or these kids that you taught how to build
A bridge or highways
whatever.
and shit. You know what I mean? Airplanes and
Like,
shit.
like they're literally dead out here, right? I use an analogy like that Allah speaks about in the Quran, right? He was like, you know, people like some people they're walking, it's like their eyes. They're walking on their eyes, man. They can't see nothing else around them. And that's Guinea. They can't see nothing. They're walking on their eyes, bro.
That's crazy.
They don't see nothing. It's like
That's crazy.
it's like they zombies. They don't have no hope, man. It's
Yeah.
no hope out here, bro. It's no hope out here, bro. I
Man,
promise you,
speaking of
man.
Guinea is one of the most resourceful countries in the world, though.
But yet the poorest country, I think like
One of
the
the
eighth
poorest.
the eighth poorest country in the world or something like that,
That's sad.
which is extremely sad, bro.
That's sad.
Which is sad, and we
'Cause,
have
like,
to do something
When I was
about
in
that.
Guinea, like I saw, like I was just walking right, and I was just looking around, and I'm seeing kids like with red dirt on their feet and shit like that, and I'm just looking like, yo, these kids are really walking on money, cause the red dirt is the bauxite.
Literally.
That's where the metal come from, right?
Literally.
And aluminum.
Yep, aluminum. Yep.
That's so these kids are literally just walking on money.
They don't even know.
Red dirt on their feet, on their
they
shoes,
don't know.
but that's what
They don't know.
they extract metal out of.
Exactly.
90% of the metals in the world come from Guinea.
Exactly. And this is why,
That's
to be
crazy.
honest with you, again, even for them, we can't blame them so much because.
I'm not blaming them.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Just
it's
consciously,
just
I was just
consciously.
like-
You're right.
I was
Sorry,
like, damn,
yeah.
like-
Sorry, I said that. Yeah, that's a fact. It's just consciously they're not aware, and this goes with them walking on their eyes, right?
Yeah,
that
exactly.
analogy, because it's like, to be aware is to be alive. At the end of the day, so they're not aware of that.
Right.
At the end of the right, so
But even if they was, what much can they do? Like,
much can
what,
they
what they gonna do? Get a truck to haul the dirt? But what are they gonna do with the
What
dirt?
are they
'Cause
really gonna
there's
do?
no factories in Africa.
exactly. And this
So
is-
that's another thing. I apologize, bro. So to all the rich blacks out there, man, invest in Africa, bro. Let's come out here. Let's build factories, bro. Let's build
Yes,
factories
indeed.
out here, bro.
let's do it. We
You know
need
what I
it.
mean?
We need to put this money together.
Because otherwise the Indians are going to do it, and the
Yeah.
Pakistanis and the Chinese are going to do
and
it.
they're gonna eat. I'd rather my
Their kids in China is going to eat. Every people going to eat. I mean, which it's okay for them to eat too. Of course, we want everybody, but there's enough. But the thing is, we need, like you said the first time, this is our land. So if we don't take ownership,
we're not gonna get it.
somebody else going to take this shit.
Somebody else gonna take it, and I want my people to be in position, man. And this is why I get up every day, and I go hard, bro. I get up every day and I go hard because I want Paul and them. I want March and them. I want Jess to be like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo, Lo doing big numbers in Africa. Let me tap in with them. And then they're gonna be like, oh crap! Now you know what? Your Lord really fuck with us. You know why? Because
He wasn't
been
selfish.
telling us. He was telling us this since
The
day
whole
one.
time.
Since day one, and he
telling
was
them.
persistent.
My nigga.
He was persistent. He was consistent.
Yeah.
He never stopped.
And he
Like he
wasn't
really
selfish.
cared. He wasn't selfish. He could have kept his mouth shut and did what he had to do and get to where he needed to be. Right, but here he is, and he's still thriving. He still wants us to come together, you know, because you know it's a collective thing. At the end of the day, I know that. I know it's a collective thing, right? It's not individual. I can't do it individually.
And on top of that, they put us in. They're racist towards us as a group.
As a group, anyway.
So if we don't work as a group, like I think Dr. Claude Anderson was saying this. I mean, I don't think he was saying this. Dr. Claude Anderson was saying this, and you know Dr. Umar too, right? Obviously,
Dr. Umar, yeah.
He's been saying that stuff too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the race, that's my nigga. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You know what I mean?
sure,
But
for
as
sure,
a
for
like,
sure.
race means to race,
Yeah.
and the only race is between blacks and whites, because if you're brown, you're black.
Yeah.
And any other motherfuckers in the world, Arabs, Chinese, Europeans, they're all white.
Yeah.
They're considered white.
They consider right.
You know what I mean? I know Asians want to. I think the Chinese actually was fighting to be considered white or some shit like
something
that.
like that. You know,
But
they fall on the like.
but the race is considered as a team effort.
Yeah.
So that goes back to what you're saying.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's a
Team
collective
effort.
thing.
Yeah, it's a collective thing.
So if we don't work as a collective,
yeah, it's like, you know, we're not gonna progress as much as we want, right? And you know, it's just all about being aware, and you know, just look at the patterns in the people that's in your lives, right? At the end of the day, like you know, if you know a person, if a person has potential, and you know this person always been like a man of his word since yay high, and he's always the top of his class, and you know if he's telling you something, even though you can see it, maybe you should consider it because of his character, right? Because of who he is, how he maintained, you know how he's always conducted himself, right? You know, because you know life just ain't fair at times, right? You know you might be down and you're gonna come up, right? You might go down again, or whatever the case might be. But as long as you staying consistent, your head is above water, you staying afloat, man. Like it's gonna come through. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, man.
Definitely, bro. So,
Man, what's it called? Ready for the next question? Yeah, I mean after this, I like shit. One more question, then we
wrap it up.
for sure. Yeah, because we've already been on this for like an hour, so that's plenty. You know, that's
yeah, I
plenty.
just had to
It's
go.
plenty of
Like, we
game.
could do it again, or we could
Plenty
like,
of game. You hear me?
yeah, for sure. We here, like we making it happen.
Everything.
Yeah, we definitely have them. Hell yeah.
So let's talk about the culture, because I feel like we pretty much like half of these questions on here.
Yeah, it's
we just talked about them already through just off that one question. You know what I mean?
For sure.
All right. So what cultural and social initiative can African nations undertake to ensure that returning African Americans feel at home and integrated into local communities? Yeah. So this is talking about the cultural difference, because like you said, you can relate, or you and I, we can relate to Africa because our parents are African. You know, we were born in Africa. Well, being born in Africa don't make us relate to Africa because we didn't grow up here. But due to the fact that, you know, our parents are African, we know a little bit about the language and the culture, so that made us relatable. And obviously, because we grew up in the States, you know what I mean, we automatically relate to them, our people out there, you know what I mean? So what cultural and social initiative can African nations, all of Africa as a whole, for example, for like, if our African Americans was to come back, how can we make them feel at home and to integrate into these local communities out here?
And with that, like
culture-wise, so we're talking about culture,
like,
talking about the food, and shit like that.
Obviously it will be
the clothing,
clothing
why
and
we
everything.
do certain things, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Because you know, like that goes into religion too, but that's another topic.
Yeah, that goes into religion and things of that nature. Because you know we have a bunch of religious Islamic countries out here, predominantly Islamic. So with that, it's just again, it's just education, right? And for them, they have it better because they're gonna have people like us here,
Right.
guiding them. So it's us, really.
Right, exactly.
We're the ones that's gonna be able to
Make them feel integrated.
And then not only that, like we give them hope, believe it or not, because think about it. They're like, hold on, yo, Polo, he American. Like,
Yeah,
what?
you
He
like
don't
African,
even- he
nigga,
like
like,
African?
yeah.
Like, what?
Right.
So now, they like, nah, if Polo could do it out there, he thriving. I know I could do it, because these people I ate with, slept with, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
same bed, like sandbox. Like, we was running around together. You
Right,
get what I'm
right.
saying? So, you know, like, it's going to take us to come together to really, like, educate them on steps. And, you know, it will be challenging, obviously, because it's different, right? At the end of the day, like, the food might be different. You know, the manners of certain people. And, you know, a little bit of cultural differences, but we'll
But
be...
the food's gonna be different, but it's gonna be healthier. I
It's
ain't
gonna be
lie, niggas
healthier.
gonna have like stomach
Yeah.
aches for the first week
Yeah,
or two.
yeah, but you'll be able to...
But
you'll
that's until
adjust.
your body gets used to
Yeah.
the organic food.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're just gonna be able to adjust. Once you adjust, because we doing it for a better cause anyway, right? So now you gotta be willing to take certain sacrifices.
Right. You know what I mean?
Like you gotta be. Listen, you tough.
you tough, right? You tough, right? Come on, mom.
Like
Hey,
you tough, right?
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Niggas get shot every day, ain't it? But not over here though. We ain't doing
Niggas,
that.
exactly.
Yeah,
No
we-
police brutality,
yeah,
nigga.
yeah,
Ain't no
we
police
nah,
brutality.
ain't none of that.
You might get pulled over, but shit, look, you just get that nigga like $5.
Ain't
Now
none of
you
that.
going your way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
ain't
yeah.
no police trying to kill you.
None of that.
None of that,
And this is what
nigga.
I'm talking about.
They're not even
like
act-
that systematic racism. You ain't gotta deal with that here.
Period.
These are your people, right? The laws, like people, like guns don't even exist out here, like with kids and all of that.
Hell
like,
nah.
That's not even a thing, bro. You hear
Period.
somebody died, he probably got hit by a car or something.
Right, yeah.
Like, a teenager died.
Rarely
It's
somebody
an
gets
accident.
stabbed. Yeah.
like
Rarely somebody gets
rarely
stabbed.
somebody
But
gets stabbed.
yeah,
Things
ain't
like
nobody ever getting shot out here.
Yeah,
The
like, that's
police got guns, but not all of them.
Yeah, not all of them.
Not all of them. A
They're
few
not-
of them.
They're not
They
carrying
gotta be.
guns
In
like that.
they gotta be in the force for like 25 years or some
Yeah,
shit before they get a pistol.
Definitely.
They giving them a 25 at that. You ain't even getting a real.
You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So like, yeah, so for my people at the diaspora, man, like you African American, you
So that's your closing statement.
yeah, like you
For sure.
you Dominican, you
Yeah.
Puerto Rican,
Haitian,
like
whatever.
Haitian,
Yeah.
like whatever, Panamanian,
Yeah,
I
Cuban,
mean, Honduran,
Honduran.
like all of my people, like this
Honduras,
is yeah, Honduras, yeah,
Yeah.
like Panama,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
through, like
Come
this
through.
this is y'all situation.
Man,
come
forget
through.
about the ones in Europe too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
the
you know what I mean?
Europeans
All the
are-
black Irish.
You get what I'm saying?
Black Irish.
Yo, come through, like
Yeah,
we're
black
here for you.
Polish, black Belgium. They
You
can
get-
bring your
yo,
ass back
pull up.
up.
Yeah, pull up.
Pull up.
Pull up, man. Come
Right.
through, man. It's
Yeah.
all love out here. We're gonna come together. We're gonna put it together. Right. We here studying the continent. Economically, like, you know, the economic and, you know what I mean, socially, like, we know what to do. We already gotta, you know, we're already a few steps ahead, right? So, yeah, we just come together and just
And figure it out.
and figure it out, man.
gonna figure it out
It's gonna
together,
be,
man.
Might be challenging, but let's do it, man.
It's the process, bro.
Yo,
Yeah, let them. It's the process, man.
Definitely, it's the process. Believe in it.
Yeah.
And it's up, man.
Hey, it's up, my nigga.
Definitely, you know that.